It's Scout Saturday Live with Taylor Bell, Nathaniel Cox, Jai Dooley, Charlotte Green, Cameron Irvine, Miranda Janae, Bailey Vincent, and Sam Yamashita. And now, it's Scout Saturday Live.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Scout Saturday Live. I'm your host, Miranda Janae, and we are so happy to have you all here with us today. On this jam-packed episode, we'll be showing you our favorite Valentine's Day activities, facts, and crafts.
That's right, Miranda. And we'll also be discussing some rarely talked about, but true, historical facts about the holiday.
For instance, did you know that the first Valentine's Day was celebrated in the year 496 and named after St. Valentine? This was the beginning of the Valentine's Day we know today, but some of the practices are super different. What's your favorite part about Valentine's Day, Charlotte?
One of my favorite parts of Valentine's Day are the decorations. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make stained glass hearts without any glass. So you're going to need a piece of wax paper, a paintbrush, some decoupage or Mod Podge. You can make decoupage there if you find a recipe on the internet. You usually take some flour, some sugar, and some water, and you can make it on the stove and it'll turn into a glue-like mixture. We just bought ours from the store. You're going to need some cardboard or some cardstock paper. We're just using some thick cardstock paper. And you're going to need tissue paper and scissors. So what I did is I took my wax paper and I spread it out. And I started taking some of my Mod Podge and spreading it out over this half of my tissue paper, or of my wax paper. So I'm just gonna put some more on. You want it to be very sticky. Mine looks really white right now, but don't worry, it's going to dry clear. You're going to want to take your tissue paper and cut it into little strips. You can rip it, you can tear it, you can cut it, whatever works for you. I cut mine into like kind of weirdly shapen squares, and you're just going to try and stick them on. Ooh. I think I'm gonna cut a little bit. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of the glue, and I'm going to put it on top of my strips and glue them down. So, now that that's all set, I've got quite a bit on my fingers. I'll set that over here so we don't get the table dirty. And let's close that. I'll put my tissue paper to the side. Now, I'm going to take this side of my wax paper and I'm going to fold it over. And the decoupage that I put on top will make sure that it sticks. So I'm going to press it down really nice to make sure that it sticks to this side and it seals it in. Then, what I did is I took my thick cardstock paper and I cut out 2 hearts and then I used them as outlines. So what I'll do is I'll take one and I'll put it on this side and I'll glue it down, and then I'll flip it over and I'll put the other one matching up with it, and then I'm gonna cut off the excess so it's just the heart. So let's do that now. So you're gonna be very careful. I don't know how to do this, let's see. And trim your edges. You're supposed to wait until after it dries, but I'm a little impatient and I want to do it now. This is what it looks like so far. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Can you see that? This is what it looks like so far, and then once it dries, it'll look better because you won't be able to see all the white. But that is how you make a stained glass heart without glass. And it's a little bit messy, but I think it'll look pretty. You can press a hole through it and then hang it on a ribbon and then hang it up, or you can put it in the window. But you should probably let it dry first before you cut it, like I should have. Yeah.
Charlotte. That is so cool. I actually have a little pretty interesting story about how the heart shape came to be. During the 15th and 16th century, the heart shape referred to love. But before that, they were used to represent plants like ivy leaves or water lilies. The more you know, right?
Wow, Swayze, I never knew that hearts had such a deep backstory. You know what else has a really cool backstory? The colors that represent Valentine's Day. Have you ever noticed that Valentine's cards are either red, white, pink, purple, or all of the above? Well, there's very good reason for that.
You're right, Bailey. Red is the color of hearts and red roses, while white represents reverence. Doesn't that sound familiar? Then, the color pink represents playfulness, and the color purple represents wisdom and creativity.
That's right, Sam, and I'll be using those same colors to put together my craft, a paper chain, which is something I love doing every year when we decorate our sukkah for the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, like this. These, however, are going to be heart-shaped, so let's go. So our finished product is going to look something like this. It's like those paper rings, but they're hearts. To start off with this project, we're going to need a bunch of paper strips. Now those can be thin, they can be thick ones, and what makes them extra fun is if you cut them with craft scissors and you get these cool texturized designs. So, we're going to be doing some of each of those. And you know what's a great way to get nice fun colored paper? Actually, with envelopes. Whether those are from old Valentines or holiday junk mail or what have you. Great fun colors. So we have our red paper and we go at it with our craft scissors. Now that reminds me, what is the world's smallest Valentine? A Valentiny! Okay, so once we've gotten a bunch of our colored strips, we're going to fold it in half so that the color desired is on the inside. So this is a red one, I've got the red on the inside. I'll fold it in half. And then, you're going to need a lot of staples for this, by the way. So we're going to staple the middle here, the closed end, so the open end is open still. So we stapled this middle. Now we're going to fold out the red part that was open. And we're going to have it meet at a point, like this. And we're going to staple that end here. Now when you're doing the first one, you can just staple it to itself. And that's what we're going to do now. Okay, we've got one paper heart. On all the next ones, so we'll use this one to demonstrate, you're going to want to, when you do the second stapling, interlock it with the last one. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Staple it there, and we fold it out again. But this time, we're going to take our first one and we're going to loop one side into it, and then close it up and staple it. Now we have a chain of 2. And we're going to keep doing that until we get something like this. Whoa. You could hang this up or you could give it to someone. I think it would go really nice with some flowers. But you know what kind of flowers you shouldn't give on Valentine's Day? Cauliflowers. Back to you, Charlotte.
Wow, I can see that Valentine's Day chain all the way from here. I'll have to make one of those myself.
I have a few more fun facts for y'all about Valentine's Day. Did you know that Valentine's Day wasn't celebrated as a holiday of love until the 12th century? And you know these Valentine's Day cards we send out? Well, the first one wasn't sent out until around the 15th century. So, next time you send out a Valentine's Day card, think about everybody else that's been sending them or receiving them for the past hundreds of years.
Hey everyone, and welcome to my little crafting table. Now today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make one of my absolute favorite Valentine's Day crafts, which is what I like to call an origami heart bouquet. So, in this project, we're going to be making some really fun origami hearts. And all you really need is a vase of your choosing. You can also use a jar. Paper, as I just showed. In my case, I have 2 pieces of paper cut into squares that are 3 inches by 3 inches. And then I have another one, which is bigger, which is cut into 6 inches by 6 inches. As long as it's a square, it'll work out. So whichever size you want. And then I just have some simple skewer sticks. These are the ones that my mom uses for cooking, but we haven't been using them lately, so I'm gonna be using them for this craft. And then this part is optional, but I found some old flowers from our garden that are a little bit crunchy, so why not put them to better use? Oh, and even though this is origami, we're going to be using tape because this is also optional, I suppose, but I like to have my things stick together and it makes it a little bit easier to bring it to the stick. So let's get started. I have my 3 pieces of paper. I think I'm going to start with the big one so I can show you. So first things first, you're going to fold it horizontally, which is corner to corner. Push it out, and you have a triangle. Next thing, you're going to open it back up and turn it. And you're going to do the same thing going the other way. So now you're going to turn it like a kite, or that's the way that I like to think of it. Once it's in the kite shape, facing towards yourself, you're going to take the top part and fold it down to the center. The center is right there. And you're going to make a little triangle. Next, you're going to take the bottom piece and bring it all the way up to the center of your triangle right here. And you're going to bring it down and crease it. Next, you see these little areas right here? Right there. There's 2 of them. You're going to take those and fold them all the way up across the middle. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. And fold that up the middle as well. Perfect. So now you can kind of see a heart taking shape. It's not perfect, but that's completely okay. Now that you have that, we're not quite done yet. Next, we're going to flip it over and we're going to kind of refine the shape. So now, with these 2 little things up here, we're going to fold them just so the little edges of it hit the edge of the paper. Now I'm going to choose to also use tape on this little part because it can tend to come apart, as you can see. So I'm going to put a little piece right there. And I'm going to take another piece right there. Now we are almost done. Now, there's 2 little points that you don't usually see on a heart, so we're going to fix those up. Take the corner and just fold it in. I'm going to do the same with this side as well. That is our first heart. Now I'll catch back up with you guys when I have all of my hearts done. Here are all my finished hearts. Now comes my favorite part, putting it all together. So get all of your materials, put them in front of you, and let's start assembling. Without further ado, here is my completed origami heart bouquet. Now, it's not perfect, but I think I like it better that way. You can use any materials you want and really customize it to fit what you really love, because that's what Valentine's Day is all about. I had so much fun doing this craft, and I actually think I might make some of these for my parents in maybe some different colors. So, I really hope that you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see what you guys create.
Those hearts are so cute. They'd make the perfect centerpiece for when I make my family my signature Valentine's Day breakfast.
Now remember, Valentine's Day doesn't always have to be about couples. It can also be about family and friends. You can use any of these fun ideas we mentioned here as cool gifts to show them you love them with all of your art. Or you can even do the crafts together. Now, Taylor's going to do a craft just like this, one that you and your family can all appreciate.
Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be making a Valentine's Day wreath. So it's going to be a heart and it's going to be made out of clothespins, a wire coat hanger, and then optional to decorate your clothespins is paint, scrapbook paper, or I found these really cool, already like colorful clothespins that I'm going to be using. So the first step is going to be to decorate your clothespins if you want to do that. So you can use paint and paint your clothespins and set them off to dry, or cut pieces of scrapbook paper and glue them onto your clothespin and let those dry. But I'm going to be using these today, so I don't have to do that step. The next step is to shape your clothes hanger into a heart. So I'm going to pull this down to try to make it the point, and every heart will be a little bit different. And then I'm going to pull these up to make them into the crescent at the top. That may be as good as he gets, but it's a heart. Now we're going to take our clothespins and we're going to clip them onto the heart. And whenever you clip them on, you can hot glue them or just glue them on to make sure they stay in place. But I found it's really cool if you just leave them and then they spin and twist, and that's super fun. So I'll show you guys that in a minute. But you just clip them on just like this. And you can do any type of pattern or all the same color, whatever you feel like. Now that we got all our clothespins on, it's a cute little heart wreath that you can hang in your door. And if you hot glue them on, then they won't move, but I didn't. So then you can twist and move them around and play with them. And I think it's just a super cute, fun, creative craft that can be really individual.
I absolutely loved that, Taylor. I think I might actually make one and hang it up on my door. I think my room needs a little bit more decor. Now, before we move on to our last craft with Bailey, Valentine's Day is all about appreciation. So we would like to take this time to give our immense appreciation to all of the frontline and essential workers for keeping us safe this year.
We'd also like to give a special Valentine's Day shout out to... Wow, this is a lot. Troop 622, Simi Valley, California. Pack 3011, Bettendorf, Iowa. Troop 109, Mullen, Illinois. Troop 1043, De Pere, Wisconsin. Pack 333, Calabasas, California. Pack 717, Barry, Vermont. Ship 550, Long Beach, California. Pack 144, Memphis, Tennessee. Pack 227, Westlake Village, California. Crew 9093, Suamico, Wisconsin. Pack 3062, Winter Park, Florida. And Pack 3601, Moore Park, California.
Hey guys, so on Valentine's Day, candy is everywhere, but I don't really like a lot of the Valentine's candy. What I do like are cookies. So we're gonna be making some Valentine's themed cookies. Now usually I make mine from scratch, but I'm using like a packaged cookie dough, cookie mix thing. And because I want to make it easy for myself today, and if you guys are just starting out baking, I highly recommend starting with like a cake mix or a cookie mix. Alright, I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees, and I have a 1/4 cup of butter or a 1/2 stick and a tablespoon of water. This is what my recipe calls for, but whatever your recipe calls for. And the butter is softened. And then water. And now we give it all a nice good stir. So you want to mix it until all of like the butter and all of that are nice and combined, and it looks kind of like that. I call that cookie dough consistency. So now we're going to make our lovely little cookie balls. You can set that off to the side, and we're gonna go grab a baking tray lined with parchment paper. So all you're gonna do is pick up a little bit of dough inside of your scoop, make it level, and pop it on. So we have all of our cookies scooped out onto the baking tray. Now we're gonna put them in the oven. Make sure you have a parent's permission before turning on the oven. Now we're just gonna pop them in, and the package says 9 minutes, so that is how long I will be waiting. So for our cookies, we're gonna make that perfect icing that gets nice and hard on top. Ooh. Okay, here's how you're gonna make it. You're gonna need 2 cups of confectionery sugar, and this is my sugar sifter. It has to be sifted. It won't get the right texture otherwise. In here is a tablespoon of light corn syrup, a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and as well a tablespoon of milk. If you want to, you can also add food coloring. I have some lovely, lovely red food dye because these are Valentine's cookies. You're gonna add it in with your hands a little bit at a time because it'll make it easier to sift that way. All right, so I have my 2 cups of confectioner's sugar all nice and sifted. Now we're gonna add in a tablespoon of milk, a tablespoon of corn syrup, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. We wanna make sure that everything gets stirred in properly and that there aren't any clumps. So we're whisking it to make sure that there aren't any clumps, and that's about the texture that you want. You want it so that it's liquidy, but not too liquidy. And now we're gonna add in the red food coloring. You wanna add it in just a little bit at a time until you get the color red that you want. And be very careful and make sure to screw the lid back onto your food coloring, because if it spills, it will get everywhere. This is the color that I like. If you guys want to go darker, you can. You guys don't even have to make it red. Make your cookies however you want to make them. They're your cookies.
Now it's time to ice our cookies. Now if you guys have really fancy little itty bitty piping bags to pipe on the frosting, you guys can use those, but I don't have those, so I'm gonna go with a good old-fashioned butter knife. Okay? So all you're gonna do is you're gonna scoop up a little bit of your frosting. Make sure your cookies are cooled completely, and then you're just gonna spread a nice little layer of the frosting onto your cookie. All right, so our cookies are all nice and iced. We're gonna leave these out and let them harden, and then they are ready to eat. So I hope you enjoy making this recipe and include your family. Make it a fun day. All right, bye.
Oh my gosh, those cookies look delicious. And I had no clue there was so much cool stuff associated with Valentine's Day. But I still have one question that no one has seemed to have answered yet. Why do we celebrate it on February 14th?
That's a really good question, Swayze. There's actually a really interesting story about that. As Taylor said, Valentine's Day is named after a Saint Valentine, and he died on February 14th, about 200 years after his death, which would have made the year 496. The Pope decided that he was so amazing, he needed his own holiday. Valentine's Day started as the Feast of Saint Valentine, and is celebrated on the 14th to commemorate him.
Can you believe that Valentine's Day had this much history? It's so cool, and it's so crazy how some of these traditions have been around for forever. And I can't wait to keep carrying them on with my friends and family.
But wait, before we near the end of the show, there's more. Do you like dressing up your pet for the holidays? If so, we would love to see pictures of your stylish animals in their best Valentine's Day attire. As you can tell, even my fuzzy friends are joining in on the fun.
If you missed any past episodes, no worries. You can always check our website to see information about our shows, our advancement tracker, and so much more. With a parent's permission, just go to bsa-la.org/SSL.
Thank you so much to Eventine for generously supporting our program. Eventeen is an online service that helps Scout units organize and run campouts, field trips, Eagle projects, and fundraisers. For more information, check out their website at eventeen.com.
Have you ever done a project that we've done on the show? If you have, take a picture or a video, and with your parents' permission, send us an email at ScoutSaturdayLive@scouting.org, and you can get yourself an official Scout Saturday Live patch. So remember, send in those videos, send in those pictures, and have fun doing those lovely crafts. Get it? Lovely? Love Valentine's Day? Life Scout the I'll stop. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Take this episode as a virtual Valentine from all of us at SSL to you. Thank you for your support, and thank you to everybody who works on this amazing show.
If you'd like to learn more about scouting or know someone who may want to join in all of this fun, be sure to visit beascout.org to find a scouting unit near you. Our next show is in 1 month, on Saturday, March 6th. So mark your calendars and we'll look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, be safe and don't forget to wash your hands with soap and water. We'll be seeing you next time. Bye!
Like making this recipe and enjoying eating these cookies, and that was a really bad way of saying it. I would like to start over.
Be safe.